Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Formula Racing League Pure Sim Gear GT3 Sunday Championship Round 1. So, yeah, this is the first round of our new season post-update. And, yeah, should we put that there? No, we'll leave it there. Yeah, we'll leave the camera up there. So, yeah, welcome, everybody. Hopefully, we're going to have a great evening this evening. We've got... we've got all our Tier 1 guys who are going to be doing battle at Kyalami. Yeah, from what I've seen so far in free practice, it's been pretty good. Let me just drop on and make sure that we do have sound. I know we had some technical difficulties last time. 1 second. So just while we... Crazies has joined the voice chat. We'll have to pause for 1 second there. Let's just check we've got sound. No, that isn't playing back for some reason. Okay, so Crazies, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. I don't know if anyone else can hear you though, because I wasn't sure what was going on with the sound, if I'm totally honest with you. Can you hear me on the stream? Because it's not playing back at my end. Or if anyone's in there, let me know if the sound's okay. So yeah, Crazies, I don't think people are going to be able to hear you, mate. Okay, if I'm being totally honest. You can talk for a couple of minutes, tell us what you think about this new season, and then if people can't hear, they'll let me know. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, you've got off lightly then, mate. You can crack on. We'll get you back properly next week if your voice isn't coming through on there, mate. Right, okay. Yeah, I don't think that's going to come through. Okay. Alright, we'll fix that for next time. So everyone, if you are watching, Crazies has joined us this evening, obviously for round 1. Was going to talk about aspirations for this series, who to watch out for, why has everyone gone for all these big angry cards, as opposed to the more nimble ones, although we do have a few brave people in there this evening. But Crazies, as I say, I don't think anyone can hear you, unfortunately, so we'll get you on next week, and you can give an overview of the first round, and what to look forward to. Okay. Alright, thanks for joining me. Sorry mate, thank you. Right, anyway, so as I was saying, this is the first race for the first race post-update. We did a sort of pre-season race, which that went down very well. Obviously there has been that split between PS4 and PS5, so what we thought we would do, rather than completely split everybody up, is a lot of the PS5 guys have gone back and using their PS4 version of the game so they can partake this evening. As you do watch Traction Dave currently going around track in his Lambo, which is, it's got an interesting livery on there, looks kind of mustardy. I have to find out what that is. So anyway, what have we got for you on the show tonight? We've got obviously quite a lot going on. We're back to our sort of original GT3 Sunday format. As you can see, Michael Race is coming up behind Traction there, wants to get in the shot. There we go. Those two, not bad actually. That's not bad livery. So, what is the race format for this evening? Okay. So people can hear me, good, because there is a problem at my end on YouTube where it's not playing back the stream, so I wasn't sure if everyone could hear me. But yeah, hi Dal, good to see you. Fresh Brizzle's in. He's just done a massive 2-hour race. Well, I think he said he went from the pit lane to second, so that's well done to him. And I've been watching some of his practice this evening. Looks pretty quick. So race format, as I say, goes back to our original one. So we're going to have a 15-minute qualifying session, which will be followed by a 30-minute sprint race, and then after that sprint race we'll have a shorter 7-minute qualifying session, and then another 30-minute sprint race. But the interesting bit here is the top 5 from race 1, and they can't qualify, and we'll start in reverse order for race 2. So I think what worked really well when we did this before, it was the top 3, but it was always fascinating to see those top 3 guys trying to battle their way back through in race 2, and then throw in a mandatory pit stop as well, and you know, things start getting a bit hectic. So looking forward to seeing how that pans out tonight. Okay, now because this is the first one back, we've got fresh teams, fresh teammates. If you did catch the FRL cast last Wednesday, you saw that we did draws for all the new drivers and teams, apart from people who were already set, i.e., you know, like Traction and Michael, for instance. You know, they're best mates, they come to race together. I totally get that. But others that are here, you know, representing themselves, essentially, we did a draw and paired them up. So let's have a quick run through of those. We've got nine and a half minutes left to practice. You will all be really happy to hear that Coop's competition is back tonight. Yep, it's had a couple of weeks rest, but it is back this evening, so we've got a good one, and obviously we've got a good prize to go with that as well. So team wise, in tier 1, so we've got one fast, one furious, and that's Michael Races and Traction Dave. Michael Races is our current FRL well, king at the moment, so I'll let you guys decide which one is the fast one and which one is the furious one. How are you? And then we've got Slilo, and they're driving the Bentley. Sorry, Traction and Michael are driving the Lambo, which you can see on screen at the moment. Slilo are going to be in the Bentley, and that's going to be Lely, and I Am Slow, the controller, our Australian compatriot even. And then we've got Training Wheels. That's a really good name, that is. Training Wheels are going to be in the Lexus, and that's ILE Floppy Fox, and he's paired up this season with Renville. I know Renville, last season before the update, he was he was in tier 2. Obviously he joined us at a certain point, but he was pretty quick in tier 2. I mean, he was kind of smashing it, so he should do pretty well up here in tier 1. Then we've got Triple X Motorsport. Anyone who's ever watched any of my 23 live streams so far for FRL will know that Triple X Motorsport is Gamer Dad, and he's been paired up with Joseph Troe, one of our American drivers, aka the bot lab, and that's because those two are usually battling away in the slammers, so they're going to be in the Lexus. And then we've got the first of the sort of maybe more petulant cars. We've got racetrip.hr, which is Zuchu and Marek Mariola. They're going to be in the Ferrari. And then we've got Phoenix Racing in the McLaren, so we do have McLaren being represented tonight. That's got to be Andy Cray 911 and Crazies, who we were trying to talk to earlier on. I think that was more of an issue on my end than his, so apologies everybody. And then we've got what is it? What Current Motorsport? They're in the Bentley, and that's going to be Fresh Brizzle and Miles V. And then we've got Kicking Asphalt in the Ferrari, GT Jamie 141 and Spacey. So again, if you guys have been watching, you're listening to these names and thinking, oh, he's quick, or oh, he's quick. Got some really good new pairings for this season. And then we've got Fresh Sim Racing, which is Fresh Jinx, and he's in the Merc. So that's who we've got taking part this evening. We do have some absentees, unfortunately. So Zuchu can't be with us this evening. Tarek can't be with us either. Miles is pretty ill, I believe, at the moment. So I hope you get better, mate, and I hope the other two obviously can get with us for next week. Fresh Jinx is actually riding solo in his team. We're trying to find someone who's brave enough to be his teammate, actually. Only joking, Jenny. But yeah, again, because of the whole update and the split, you know, obviously as more people join us and want to take part, then, you know, we've only got a few spots, about 2 or 3 spots left, but they will fill pretty quickly, I have no doubt. So let's get out on track. Let's have a look at Lenny and his Bentley. I was hoping Lenny might drive something else this season, but I think he is paid by Bentley, because I've never seen him in anything else, to be fair. Let's quick look at the live chat. Okay, thank you. Right, ERT Milden's in. Good evening, buddy. I'm glad you're with us. And he's telling us to keep a little eye out for Floppy Fox. Okay, those two must have a history together then. So he's saying that that guy's pretty quick. We will of course find out. And this is the beauty of it. Everyone with their skill levels are moving up so much at the moment. But I doubt you're going to have a runaway winner. I know Michael's currently sort of reigning champion, but he's not even beating Traction at the moment. And I know Traction will say, Michael will say it's because Traction wanted the Lambo and Michael doesn't really know the Lambo. But hey, if you're a champ, you'll get to know any car, which is all good. So we've had a look at the race format so far for this evening. We've had a look at who the new drivers and the new teams are. In terms of points, it's from 40 for first place down to 11, I believe. So everyone's got an opportunity to score some good points. We think it's very important here at Formula Racing League. You know, if you're putting in that time and dedication and you're partaking fully, you should be rewarded with some decent points. You know, keep you in the hunt towards the end of the season. I believe we've got I think it's an 8-round calendar. I will double check that a bit later on when we look at where we're going to next. But yeah, that will certainly keep everybody busy whilst we're all busy in the background working on more events, helping more people get involved and all those bits. So can't be bad. So currently, let's have a look at the times. I've been giving you quite a bit of information, but it has felt like ages since we've been here doing this actually on a Sunday. So Traction, 4 minutes left of free practice. Traction is currently top of the pile with a 42.3, just under. And then his teammate Michael is 2 and a bit tenths behind. Lely in the Bentley is a further 6 tenths down the road. And then I Am Slow, the controller, in his Bentley, he's almost a second off the pace. Fresh Brizzle, he's 1.1 seconds off the pace in 5th. Gamer Dad in the Lexus. And surprise, surprise, it's not Coop's competition, but have a guess what colour Gamer Dad's wheels are. Put that in the live chat, just so that you all know. Well, you know him well enough. GT Jamie in the Ferrari is 1.4 off the pace, and then Floppy Fox in the Lexus with the number 8. Well, I feel there's going to be an argument coming along here because I like number 8. That's my favourite number, my lucky number. But Will Friedman has number 8 as our sort of CTO of FRL and Patreon. So I'm sure he's going to be firing off some evil looks towards Floppy Fox with regards to that number 8. Renville is currently in 10th, nearly 2 seconds off the pace in his Lexus. Then we've got Crazies in the McLaren. He's just over 2 seconds off the pace. Joseph Trow in his Lexus, again very, very close to Crazies. And then Marek in the Ferrari and Fresh Jinx in the Merc is bringing up the rear currently. And I'm sure you can see Michael has got the number 1 on his car. Shocking. I mean, I know he is the champ, but really, but then why not, I suppose? You go, Verstappen. Right. Okay, so 2 minutes left of that. We will obviously do a full lap guide in qualifying like we do every single time we do a live stream. We'll jump on board with someone who's going pretty quickly. I'll run through the lap, talk about breaking points, you know, what we should be doing where we should be on the track, and all those good things. So we'll do that when we get into qualifying proper. And Coop's competition, let's do that one. How many have we got in? We've got 5 in at the moment. I'm not going to do it just yet. I'm going to wait until we've got some more people in. Now, there is a stipulation this evening with Coop's competition. Normally I throw it out there and Traction Dave gets on Google and gives me the correct answer in about 30 seconds. Obviously he's driving, so hopefully he won't do that unless he's listening to the stream right now and he's got Google ready to go, right? So obviously if you're driving you cannot participate. That's one stipulation. The second one is in order to be able to have your entry be official, you have to like the stream. Okay, we've already been talking about great things for nearly 15 minutes. Just put a little like on there and I'm happy as Larry, whoever he is. What's he saying? Shoot the fox. Yeah, well, we'll find out. We'll find out what happens. Okay. So predictions for this evening. It's very interesting. I mean, we know we've got some quick guys in here. Traction is quick. Michael is the champ. Lely's always up there in the top 3 normally. I am slow, well, he's absolutely rapid. Spacey, let's have a look at him now in his Ferrari. Spacey's really quick. Fresh Brizzle's always up there in the top 5 or 6. GT Jamie is normally up there in the top 5. Gamer Dad isn't usually far off the front either. Floppy Fox is an unknown quantity, but we'll take it from ERT Milden that he's a quick guy, so he's probably going to be in the mix. Marrick's not slow either. Renville was really quick last season in Tier 2, so I'm expecting good things from him. Crazies hasn't won a million championships within FRL for no reason, so he's going to be up there. Joe's really quick. Fresh Jinx, he's been coming on leaps and bounds over the last, 6 or 7 weeks, so I can't pick anybody really straight away that I think is going to absolutely smash it out of the bag. I think it's going to be close for all of them. Let's just hope everyone gives us a nice clean start to the race, which I'm sure they will, but bearing in mind it is only a 30-minute sprint race, so if people are going to get moves done or want to try and break away, they've got to get that done fairly quickly, as we're in the wait time now. So we're just about to move into qualifying, and then we'll see what these boys can really do in terms of track temperatures and things like that. So we've got a fast track at the moment. I'm sure that may change to an opti track in qualifying, or maybe not. We've got 28 degrees ambient and 35 on track. So okay, the ambient's a little bit high, probably 4 degrees above where you'd want that to be for absolute optimum, but hey, it's still pretty good. I'm sure they'll all be pretty handy around there. As you can see, look, there we go. Oh, look at them all lined up.
Green light. Go.
Right, start qualifying. 15 minutes. Who's out first? All of them. Then they're all off. Right, let's get in there. So we know Lenny got out pretty quick. What we've got there, one of the Lambos, is that traction? Well, the traction's already off. So traction isn't the first one out of the bag. That was fresh Brizzle maybe. And then Lely. Okay. Right, so everyone's coming around, sorting themselves out, getting those tyres warmed up. So I think I Am Slow is leading the pack at the moment. He is indeed in the 109 Bentley with that nice green livery on there. She does look pretty nice. Let's change the camera view just so we can see what everyone's doing behind. Right, so Dow's with us this evening as well. I feel it's a bit like royalty actually, because I know everyone knows and loves Dow for all the work that he does within Formula Racing League, but he spent 12 hours yesterday, ladies and gents, 12 hours doing the live stewarding for our charity race for Mind, which was actually arranged by Hydra. So a really nice chap actually, and I know him, James and Chris Yavolton did comms for the whole 12 hours, and yeah, hats off to them. So if you haven't had a look at that, please do go over to the FRL YouTube page and check out that 12-hour absolute amazing race at Monza that took place yesterday. So I mean, I think James has got divorced over that one, I don't know, but I mean, if Dow had a Mrs. and Chris, then they probably would have been divorced as well, because that is one hell of a stint if you then take into account qualifying, free practice, driver briefings, post-race stuff. So hats off to those guys. What an amazing job. And you can still donate to that. So if you check it out on the website, the formularacingleague.co.uk website, there should be a link on there where you can still go and donate to that very worthwhile charity. And whilst we're talking about charity, as these boys come across the line to start their first flying lap, we are doing a charity event. Actually, not the start finish yet. We are doing a charity event next Sunday before GT3 Sundays. We're doing an event across PC, PS4 and PS5, and evidently that is to raise money for the Red Cross for what is going on in the world at the moment, which we won't stick and talk about. Obviously it's tragic, and it's a really real shame about what is happening over there. So we're going to try and do our bit to raise some money and help some people out there, so please do get involved with that. More details will be out on the website, no doubt in the next couple of days. Right. Well, Tina's in. Hi Tina, I take it you're supporting I Am Slow, I think, if I remember correctly. And Dale seems pretty happy with that. Yeah, so okay, we have got a few people in the main. Right, here we go. COMMS competition before I jump on and start doing flying laps. Why are those two all over each other coming into a hot lap? That beggars belief, that one. COMMS competition, are we ready? Remember, like the stream and you can win a prize. So the Kyalami track was opened in 1961. Okay, what does the name Kyalami mean, and in what language? Okay, so there is your question. You are not allowed to answer until the end of qualifying. Anyone that answers between now and the end of qualifying, I will discount that answer. Okay, so Kyalami was opened in 1961. What does the name, or what does the word Kyalami mean, and in what language? There you go, guys, get the grey matter turning. Right, let's get on board. So with I Am Slow, let's get back on there. Let's find someone who's Traction, and then Lenny. Right, let's get on board with Traction. Let's have a listen to that Lambo. So he's 8 tenths down. I assume he's having a cool down lap at the moment as he goes into the S's. Yeah, well, no, I knew he was going to do that. He always does that to me. And Michael goes provisional pole there, just a tenth ahead, which is pretty good. Let's have a look on there. So Michael's gone through. He's probably going to slow that one up. Let's have a look at him. No, he's still on it. So as we come into barbecue there, hard on the brakes, get it turned in, squeeze on the throttle, coming out to the outside, and then we're going to move across to the left as we come into the long sweeping right-hander of Sunset. You want to back off a little bit, maybe down a gear, yeah, and then just hold on to that, squeeze the throttle on, keep it wide, and then aim diagonally to that 50 board, hard on the brakes, down to second as we come into Clubhouse Bend. Again, we're drifting wide on the run up to the S's. Where you see the curbing start on the right hand side, we're going to back off there. He's had to drop it down a gear. The Bentleys and the Lexuses don't have to drop it a gear there, nor does the Merc. As we come up to Leocop, which is a really difficult sort of double left-hander, we're going to get on the brakes now, down to first, and then we're just going to hold that steering lock on, squeeze the power on, and then we get the second part of that left-hander, let the car drift wide, full throttle down here, down mineshaft, hook it towards the left, do not take your foot off the throttle, aim to the left, hard on the brakes, down to second. As we come into Crocodiles, he's gone into first there, and then okay, using all that runoff area, that's good. He's 3 tenths up into Cheetah, so we're going to go off, turn. Oh, that, and the thing with Cheetah, as we come into Igwe, the last left-hander, back onto the start-finish straight, the thing with that Cheetah, they're really fast, obviously. Oh, thank you, Tina. I'm glad I'm correct. Glad you're with us. The thing with that corner Cheetah, that sausage curve there, you've got to be so precise. You kind of got to get off the throttle, maybe do a little down change depending on what vehicle you're in. You just got to nail that line. So Michael's going for another quick one, nearly a tenth up as we come up towards barbecue. Let's see if he gets this one right. Just roll her in, squeeze on the throttle. You can see the throttle inputs are down in the right hand corner there, throttle and brake, as we come up towards Sunset. And I love this view because we can also have a look at what's going on with the steering and try and figure out how stable that car is or not. It's currently still in provisional pole, on the brakes into second, roll it in through Clubhouse Bend, now get on the power, just apex that beautifully, up towards the S's. As soon as that curbing starts, off the power, down a gear, hug the left hand side, and then, yeah, I was going to say, you need to back out a little bit. Again, we've got some latency issues going on here at the moment, I'm sure you can see that. In towards Leocop. He's taking a tighter line through there this time, so he'll squeeze out wide and then tuck it back in. Put someone in front, they shouldn't get in the way. So let's see, as we go down through Mineshaft, let's see if we get Crocodiles correct and if you can set that up for Cheetah nicely. So on the brakes, down to first, cut it back in. Nice apex, squeeze of the power. Yeah, ooh, no, he's overcooked it. And he's trying to take off. Wow, Michael is not having a good time. in that Lexus at the moment. So Lely's currently sitting on provisional pole with a 42 flat. Michael is only 9 thousandths behind, and then we've got his teammate Traction. There's only another 10th and a bit behind him. I Am Slow's doing a great job at the moment. He's currently sat in the pits in his Bentley. He's nearly 6/10 off the pace, and then Spacey in the Ferrari. Let's give Spacey a little bit of time. We haven't looked at the Ferrari yet, but obviously we're going to have plenty of time to do that this evening and across the season. See how she handles through Cheetah. Nice. Oh, and we've got a spinner there. Ouch. That could have caused a lot of issues. Okay, well, he can go again. He can go again. Wonder why that's not playing back. That's very odd and frustrating. Anyway, so Spacey comes through. What is that one called again? Juxki Sweet, that's the one. Into barbecue. I was thinking earlier on, what do we love after a barbecue? What do we love? And this is why they named it here on this track. A nice sunset. Of course we do. Anyway, off the power, down to third. Keep it tight to that curb. I think he just pushed the power a little bit too early there. He's slightly up, hard on the brakes. Took her in. Squeezed that on. That was nicely apexed in the run down towards the S's. Let's see how she handles through here. Squeeze, then off again. And then squeeze again. Nice. Tell her drive the Ferrari, can't you? Okay, so he's 2/10 up at the moment into Learcop. So nice showing so far from Spacey. She looks nicely grounded. Let's see what she's like down through Mineshaft and into Crocodiles. On the brakes, keep it wide, get the cut back. Apex now, squeeze the power on. Beautiful, very nice. Very nice, Spacey. Into Cheetah, off, down, turn, go. Beautiful. Okay, 3/10 up, hard on the brakes, get this turned in nice. Squeeze that throttle, mate. And out she goes. That has been a very tidy lap. I'm impressed with that. 4/10 up, what's that going to do in terms of his position? That puts him potentially 4th. Spacey, that was a great lap. So Lenny's still out in front. We've got 4.5 minutes left on this one. He's 18 thousandths ahead of Michael in the Lambo. Then Michael's teammate Traction's another 10th behind. Spacey we've just seen elevate from 6th to 4th with a really tidy lap. I Am Slow 6/10 off the pace in his Bentley. He's sat in the pits at the moment. And here we go. This is what we're talking about. Fresh Brazil, he's up to 6th. And then Gamer Dad in his Lexus. Floppy Fox. Now, we know ERT Milden was talking about him. Let's have a look at old Floppy Fox, shall we? What a great name. We can have a nice little listen to the Lexus. She looks a little bit loose on the back now. Traction is on... no, what's traction on? 2, okay. Okay. Well, he can't be accused of not being committed. He threw that into Cheetahs, didn't he? Into Ingwe, onto the start-finish straight. So he's slightly down. Currently in provisional 8th place. Keep pushing, dude. You're slightly up at the moment as you go through the kink. Down towards Crowthorne. 100 metre board on the right, hard on the brakes, down into 2nd, probably 1st in the Lexus, took her in. Let's see, it carries some speed through. Oh, she's fighting in there as we go through the jux, you know, that sweet bit, that's what we'll say for that one. Into barbecue, he's 2/10 up, so he's doing well on this lap. Big correction there, you saw him soaring away at that steering wheel, on the way up to sunset. Right hand out, he's just going to back off slightly, get it tucked in, and then squeeze the throttle now full. Very, very twitchy into Clubhouse Bend. So he was 2.5 up. He lost a bit through there, but he's getting it back now on the way up towards the S's. She should stay in 3rd through here and stay on the power, as you can see. So she's a lot more comfortable through there than the Ferrari and the Lambo. To be expected. No doubt the McLaren, we'll have a look at that shortly as well. Overcooked that one, you can see she's just moving around underneath him. So he's lost a tenth and a half going through Learcott. Down mine shaft, left hand out, no backing out of that one. Be committed. Aim for the board on the brakes, down to first gear, get it tucked in, apex properly. He wanted to be on that throttle really early, didn't he? So I'm assuming Floppy Fox likes a rather loose rear end, as you can see. He's absolutely chucking around everywhere. Into Ingwe. That's not going to improve his lap time though, unfortunately. So Lenny's still provisional pole, just over a minute left. Michael and then Traction, Spacey, no change top 6. Gamer Dad is currently the lead Lexus, then Floppy Fox, GT Jamie and Marek, and the 2 Ferraris are just behind them. And then we've got Crazies, Joe, Renville, Andy, I'm just going to call you Andy, alright Andy, and then Fresh Jinx at the back. So let's have a look at Crazies, let's have a look at Andy in his McLaren. So we do have quite a broad mix of cars, you know. We've got the sort of the really sturdy, what you would class as sort of more stable vehicles, yeah, in terms of the Bentleys, the Lexus, even the Mercedes. And then we've got these little twitchy, irritable ones, the Ferrari, the McLaren and the Lambo. So it's actually really interesting. There's 2 completely different schools of thought and driving styles for those type of vehicles. So we'll see how they pan out. But Andy's currently nearly 3/4 of a second up as he comes into Crocodiles. So that's a great effort from him so far. He's over a second up now. Looks like he's got those tyres in the window. Up to Cheetah. Nails that one. That was beautiful. Hard on the brakes. Get her turned in, Andy. And on the power we go. So he's definitely going to improve. Is he going to move up on the grid? That's the question. He does manage to move up a place. Well done you. So we are in the wait time at the moment. So it looks like we need to be on board with Traction, because Traction is wow. Okay, that's crazy. And I don't mean that's crazy, I mean that's Traction, but it's crazy that he's only 18 thousandths off as well, and Michael's 18 thousandths off. You don't see that very often, do you? So Lenny's currently provisional pole with a 42 flat. Michael's then currently on the front row with him 18 thousandths behind, and Traction's 18 thousandths behind Michael, but he is still on track. So Traction has no opportunity as he just throws it off. Oh my word. Okay, so I do believe that's going to be your pole for your grid for race 1, ladies and gents. That was a pretty epic qualifying session. Lots of action going on there. So we'll just wait for that to be confirmed, but I would say congratulations to you, Lely. Again, we'll throw Coop's competition out there, folks. I actually need to see if that is going through on the normal stream. Just 1 second, guys. Oh, it is. Okay, fair enough. And also, don't forget, Mike's in tonight. Again. He's always going to be with us, this guy. So, there we go. Your first qualifying session of the new season post-update is done for our Pure Sim Gear GT3 Sundays. Let's have a look how that grid stacks up. So pole position, congratulations to Lely in the Bentley. He's lining up next to Michael Races in the Lambo. Row 2 we've got Traction, Dave, Michael's teammate in his Lambo, and Spacey. It's a very good effort in that Ferrari. She did look happy. Floppy Fox, as ERT Milden was saying, yeah, he's up there in 5th place with I Am Slow. That's a good times on both of them. Fresh Brizzle 7th, GT Jamie is in 8th in his 1-for-1 Ferrari. Gamer Dad 9th, and Crazies are bringing up the top 10 there. So Lexus and McLaren on that row, that's going to be interesting. Marek Mariola and Joseph Tro are 11th and 12th. Andy, who's debuting tonight, so welcome, in his McLaren, he's 13th with Renville, first time up in tier 1 for him. Again, good effort by you, Renville, in the Lexus. And then we've got Fresh Jinx and apparently We the Kevin. Now I don't know if We the Kevin is racing or if he just popped into the server. Don't think he's racing, but there we go. So we've now got a 30-minute race ahead of us. for these guys to do battle, 1 mandatory pit stop, so they do still have to think about strategy. I would assume they're probably just going to fuel for the entire race. It's only 30 minutes, and then pick when they're going to come in and get their tyres changed. Now all these chaps, being tier 1, should be doing manual pit stops. We do have some really standout guys who do the manual pit stops, Crazy's being one of them, so we'll see if he can use his strategic mind to make up some places as well as his pace. So there we go. I haven't had, yeah, it is going to be a tight race, it definitely is. I haven't had an answer to the competition yet, so we'll run it again. COMMS competition, remember the prize is a free setup, any car, any track, no problem at all. So the question is, Kyalami track was opened in 1961. What does the word Kyalami mean, and in what language? Okay, everyone is free to post away their answers. So, what does Kyalami mean, and in what language? Okay. Free setup, any car, any track. So, 3 minutes to go before we get this formation lap underway. How much is going to be tinkering with their setups? I don't know. Probably a little bit. Maybe the guy's a bit further down. Maybe Michael's thinking, can I make a really, really slight change? That's maybe going to give me a tiny bit more stability throughout the entire race. Bearing in mind he was only 18 thousandths off there. Traction's thinking, how can I beat Michael? I'm only 18 thousandths behind him. Let's hope those two don't come together in the first corner. And yeah, everyone's going to be looking at that, making sure they've got all their tyre temps correct for their pit stop. And then probably just taking a little breather for a couple of minutes before it starts getting a bit crazy. Yeah, so there we go. Let's have a little drink. Oh, obviously, I forgot my FRL coffee delivery device. Cheers, everyone. Oh, well, actually, speaking of coffee, this is empty today because I've run out of coffee. So, if anybody enjoys what we do here multiple times a week for hours and hours and hours, which I'm sure you all do, I do try and entertain you guys as much as I can. If anyone wants to buy me a coffee for a very, very small price, please pop on to buymeacoffee.com/comms by Coops, and you can, well, as I say, buy me a coffee. And I would like to thank everyone that has so far. There's been some very everyone's been really kind with that, and obviously that all goes towards being reinvested back into the leagues and things like that as well, so feel free. Jamie says yeah, I did. Well, Michael, I went circle cam because I like the square one, don't get me wrong, but when I did it the other day, it really cut off a lot of the top, so I couldn't see any of the time. And I know you can move the circle around, but then I don't want to get in the middle of the race, if you know what I mean. So with the circle cam, I'm still able to see the time on what's left on the session, which is quite important, rather than guessing it. So that's why I went for that. I might do the hexagon one next, just see what that looks like, who knows. But good luck, mate. Well, good luck everybody, actually. Dow says he only buys tea. Dow, that's fine, mate, but I don't drink tea, so the coffee's where it needs to be, my friend. Okay? And Jamie, it says wooden spoon for this. I don't think so, mate. You're nice and consistent. There's always action, Jamie, so just get your head down, mate. So there we go, guys. 3 seconds till we get underway. Let's see how we get on. See if we all get a clean start to this race. Again, I thought Traction would have used those 3 minutes to do the competition. He's missed out on a right trick there, hasn't he? Missed out on a trick there. Right. Let's change our angle. There you can see. So Lenny's not gone flying off, but Lenny's obviously leading the pack there, controlling the pace. I do want to know what the thought process is behind that livery on those Lambos. I shall ask them after the race. I shall. Right. Yeah, Letty doing a bit of weaving there, trying to get some heat into those tyres and into those brakes. It might only be a 30-minute sprint race, but obviously trying to get as much temperature in as you can now is going to be beneficial, because with it being such a short, comparatively short race compared to what we do over here at FRL, you haven't got loads of time to be making up places, so it's imperative that you can try and get the best start you can, cleanly, of course, and then go from there. So, live chat, guys. Who's your money on this evening? A wee Irish. Well, Del, thank you very much there. He's a good man. You gotta love Del. Del says he's not racing anymore with the Oiks on PS4. It's PS5 only, which obviously won't please some of the people in the admin. Probably Gamer Dad. Gamer Dad seems to not like that some of the PS5 guys want to stay on PS5, but hey. Right, as they all start to form up, as they're coming up towards Crocodile, I hope you guys are comfy, because I'm not. Lely leads them through. Right, we're nearly ready. We are nearly ready to start the first the first proper league race post-update. So round 1 at Kyalami, 30-minute sprint race, as they all coming up to Ingwe, the last left-hander before the start-finish straight. Right then, let's have a look-see. Come on then, guys, are you ready? Right. So they're all just keeping their eye out, and they're off. There we go. So we've got Spacey, who looks, he's not going to make a challenge there, but he's certainly keeping traction a bit busy on that one. Michael goes wide. He's going to go for a big cutback there. In fact, he's trying to go around the outside. Michael's trying to go around the outside of Letty into turn 1. That is a great effort, and they're going to kiss. They do touch slightly. No major issues there. Traction still in third. Traction can get up the inside of Michael here on the run down to the S's, and then you've got Spacey, who's currently in 4th place, doing really well, and is that Floppy Fox. That is a great start from him. So we need to go and see what's going on elsewhere. There is a gap that's developed behind them. I'm not going to come off this just now. Michael goes a little bit wide there, so that's definitely going to slow him down. Let's let the computer on the left hand side have its usual sort of brain freeze, and then we'll sort ourselves out. In the meantime, let's go on board with Michael so we can see what's going on from his cockpit, trying to chase down Lely. So there's a bit of a gap developing now back to Traction, as you can see, up towards Learcop. A little extra down with the brakes there from Lely, you saw that, and Spacey, you just missed that in the background. Spacey and Floppy Fox, I think we need to get on that actually, guys, because that looks like it's a great fight at the moment. Yes, it is indeed. So Ferrari versus Lexus into Crocodiles. Is Floppy going to make a move? No, thinks better of it. He's trying to set himself up a little bit later on in the lap. You can see there, Spacey runs wide on the way up to Cheetah. How have they got a handle through there? That's a brilliant shot, isn't it? Seeing how those cars move around in towards Igwe. So the top 3 in front, we can see they're all still line abreast, pretty well gapped. And then we've got this situation with Spacey fighting hard with Floppy Fox, and ERT Milden's probably going to be happy about that. If he likes Floppy Fox, I don't know, but hey, no challenge at the front as yet, as they go through the kink in towards Crowthorne. Hard on the brakes, first gear, get it tucked in. He's ran wide there. He's ran wide, but Floppy couldn't get on the power enough there, because he would have pushed himself wide. So there's your top 5 at the moment. Let's have a look further down the grid. So Crazies has got himself up to 6th. Well done him. Andy's up to 7th in the other McLaren, so there must have been an issue somewhere, and that probably tells its own story. Marek and Fresh Brizzle are in the pits. Obviously we couldn't catch all the action because Black One and computers having brain freezes. You've got to keep your eye on what you can. So these two are still having their battle. 3 tenths between them. And then we've got 4 tenths, 8. Okay, so we know where we're at with that. So Crazies Crazy's in 6th place. His teammate Andy, well, that's a fantastic job by him. He's just about to lose it. And Renville, oh, so unlucky. Renville, he went to go right to miss that, and then he saw that Andy was going to spin the opposite way, so he went to try and counter it. But then Andy managed to catch it and put it back into his path. So they did collect each other, but Renville has managed to carry on. So well done to him, and lucky Andy. And if you look at the weather, it looks like there's some wet stuff. And it looks like there's going to be a lot of wet stuff, which is really going to put the cat amongst the pigeons, because these guys are all on dry tyres, and Fresh, Brizzle and Marek have pitted already. Let's hope they didn't stick more dry tyres on from maybe having a crash. So GT Jamie's currently in 11th place. He's about to make a move there on Andy, as you can see. He's probably struggling with tyre temp at the moment. And I say that, and GT Jamie then kicks that sausage curb and dumps it straight over the track. That's going to allow Joseph to come on board, and Gamer Dad ducks it straight in the pits. So Gamer Dad, he's going to be changing to wets, no doubt. Spacey and I'm Slow are also in the pits. Let's get back up front and see how the top 3 are getting on. Obviously, the track's going to be getting pretty, well, it says greasy. I would assume the track's going to be getting pretty greasy because of the rain. And Floppy Fox, he's got himself up to 4th. That's because Spacey is in the pits. So already we are a few minutes into this race, ladies and gents, and we have had tons of action. We've got the variable of the weather, which is going to play havoc with this race. So everyone's pit strat that they thought they were going to do is out of the window, and this is where preparation comes into these races. If anyone spent any time in the practice server, they may have had a period of time where it was wet, so they might then have had themselves a wet setup done just in case. Or if they haven't, they're now thinking, most definitely thinking on their feet. So Lely is still up top. Michael is just 7/10 behind. Traction is then a further second behind him. Floppy Fox is still in 4th, 3.6 seconds behind. Then we've got Crazies and the McLaren in 5th. Renville, I wonder how he's enjoying his first outing up in Tier 1. He's in 6th. Fresh Jinx, Wooden Spoon, you were saying in your Merc, you're up to 7th, mate. Well done. Just keep it on the grey stuff. Andy in his McLaren, he's obviously had a few issues at the moment, so he's still going. He's in 10th place. So Joe's in 9th, and GT Jamie is currently in 8th. Floppy Fox comes into the pits, as does Crazies. So at the moment, it's only the top 3 that have elected to stay out. Then we've got Spacey, who has pitted. I assume he's got a wet setup on now. I mean, on a greasy track, you can still have the dry tyres, yeah? You can do that. You don't need to have wets when it's greasy, but you can see on the weather forecast it's saying the rain is going to increase. So who's going to gamble and who's going to go straight onto wets? So Floppy Fox in, Crazies in, Renville and GT Jamie all in the pits. This is going to be very interesting because Spacey and Floppy Fox were together, and Floppy Fox is coming out of the pits now. So where is that going to put him? Let's have a look in those mirrors. No, he's got himself out. Good. Good work. Very good work, my man. So Floppy Fox jumps Spacey in the pits. And there's Crazies. So Crazies is coming out behind Spacey. So Floppy Fox has done really, really well in that pits. Really well. Lely's still out up top. Michael's only half a second behind him. So he's probably thinking, I'm not going to pit just yet. Obviously, I'm closing in on Lely at the moment. So it's got to be worth staying out. There aren't any other really close battles at the moment. So we will stick on the top 2. Who's going to duck it in that pit lane to the left? Lely is, and Michael's thinking, right, I'm going to do the opposite to you. Brave. Let's see how he gets on in that Lambo. Let's stay on board the Lambo and let's see how she handles. Hello Rashid. Good to see you in with us, mate. You're welcome. Yes, Michael does have those big things, Dale, you're correct. Right, she doesn't seem to be behaving too badly at the moment, really. That's the view we want, so we can have a look at steering. Ooh, a little bit of understeer there. So, he's probably having to wait a second and a half on that corner before he could get the power back on, like he normally would do, as he goes through Clubhouse into S's. How is she going to be through here? Yeah, now she's not happy through there, is she? Look how much she's having to back out and wait. Yeah, she's not happy through there, so I think he might be coming in at this lap. So I think he might have been hoping that with his tyres probably being in a warmer state than Lely's coming out on cold tyres, that he could maybe, because remember he was only he was probably 4/10 behind, so there's not a huge amount he would have to make up. He's just got to keep it on the track, and I'm sure we're going to see him coming in this lap, and then we'll have a look and see what else is going on. Through Cheetah. Okay, easy place to lose it there. And he comes. I thought so. Right, so let's get off Michael. And there's Lely. So Andy still hasn't pitted yet. He's the only other person who hasn't pitted in his McLaren. Everybody else has pitted. And look at that. Floppy Fox in the Lexus is only 7/10 behind Lely. So Floppy Fox is having a great debut at the moment. I am very impressed. And mixing it at the sharp end straight away. Did a great pit stop strategy. Obviously did a manual stop. Did that really quickly. Managed to jump Spacey, if you remember. And he's now he was under a second behind. Lely's trying to get those tyres up to temp. Right, let's have a look. So where is Mr. Races? There he is. And these two are coming round. Right, and Michael hasn't got going yet. He hasn't got going. Michael, well, he's not going to hold the lead of this race because they're coming down now. Maybe Michael's had to come in and start playing about with setups. He's still in the pits. So Lely goes through first. Floppy Fox goes through second. Spacey's goes through into third. And that pit stop has not been kind to Michael at all. He came into the pits less than half a second behind Lely, and he's still sat there. So I'm thinking that may be an issue with having that wet tyre setup, which is not great. So there's traction's going to take him as well. Okay, that is a real shame, folks. Right, Michael looks like he's getting going now. So I'm positive there was an issue there with regards to him not having a wet setup. So here is your current fight for the lead. Our debutant Floppy Fox qualified nicely up the grid. I think he qualified 5th, and then had a great battle with Spacey in the opening couple of laps. Obviously it started to rain then, so a few people started coming into the pits. He did a great pit stop and jumped Spacey. Obviously Michael's just had an absolute mare in the pits, which is not great for him. So he's obviously fallen way down the pack, and this is your fight for the lead. You see him fighting that steering wheel there. It's great to watch though. It's great to see these guys going at it already. It's race 1, round 1. That is close. And he looks like he's got that Lexus dialed in beautifully up towards Cheetah. He's trying to force Lely. Lely's double tapping those brakes. He's trying to force Lely to take his eye off the ball and maybe miss his turning point or overshoot the braking point as they come through Ingwe to start another lap. We've got 18 minutes left of this race, and the weather is saying it's not going to let up. It's saying it is going to continue to rain more. What a way to start the season, ladies and gents. None of this lovely sunny weather. Let's get eased into it and find our pace now. Now let's throw them straight in, make it look that way, and then let the heavens open. Floppy Fox was lucky he didn't catch that sausage curve then. If it was, he would have launched straight into the back of Lely. But this is a great battle at the front. What do you folks think on the stream? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, no one's there. That's right. So we're going to get a move. No. He's just deploying all of his tricks. He's just filling those mirrors of Lely. So Spacey's still in 3rd place. Can't really come off that at the moment. We'll just have a look at the time. Oh, Renville's right on the back of I Am Slow. but that gap looks like it's developed somewhat. So I Am Slow is currently running 5th. Well done to you. Tina will be happy. Renville is in 6th place. GT Jamie is currently in 7th place, which is a great effort from him. Traction's in 8th. Remember, Traction started 3rd. So, I mean, obviously those pit stops or the weather, that couldn't have been kind to him in the Lambo. Gamer Dad is currently 9th. Whoa, that's brave. That is brave. That is a move and a half. Congratulations, that man. He decided early he was going to go right, and Lely gave him space. Yeah, it was good racing by Lely, but wow, Floppy Fox takes the lead of this race. We're almost halfway through, nearly, and wow, I think we've got another alien. Brilliant. Another alien joins. Fantastic. Wow, I can't quite believe that. That is really, really impressive. So he's pulled half a second on Lely already. Spacey's in 3rd. Spacey's having a great race in that Ferrari, because I mean she's unpredictable at the best of times, let alone when it's wet. And you can see the track is fully wet now, not greasy anymore. So Crazy's plugging away, doing what he does best in 4th place, really consistent. That, I think that is Crazy's his best ability. Not that he's super quick. He is super quick, but that isn't his standout quality. It's the consistency with this guy. And then I Am Slow, he's putting up a great effort at the moment. Let's get off that camera angle. But as you can see, Renville is not too far behind him. Renville's only 3 tenths behind. And then GT Jamie, he wants a piece in his Ferrari. So again, in terms of team battles, you've got Spacey and GT Jamie there. They're doing pretty well. We've got some Bentleys and we've got some Lexuses in there. And then Gamer Dad is currently in 8th place. He's way off the pace at the moment, so not sure what's happened with him. Yes, pink wheels, that's correct everyone, that's what I said at the start. As you can see at the front, Floppy Fox has pulled out a 1.4 second lead. That is rapid. That is seriously rapid. And then Spacey is holding on to that 3rd place nicely. Crazy's is in 4th. And then we've got Renville. Okay, let's get on board. Who's in front? Let's get on board of I Am Slow. So we can see, oh, just as we do that, Renville puts it off the track, and that's allowing GT Jamie. GT Jamie takes an opportunistic move there. Well done to him. And that's the whole point about being in the right place at the right time. And I Am Slow got a bit wide there, so he was off the power, and that is allowing GT Jamie to get a bit of a slipstream as they go through the kink down towards Crowthorne. And we're going to have a move on the inside. No, let's have a look at those mirrors. No, as he closes up on him. Wow. So these three are having a right little ding dong, aren't they, as we come up to barbecue. Not really barbecue weather at the moment, I'd have to say. And you're not going to see a sunset when we come around the next corner either. Some beeping going on there. Through sunset. You've got to be tippy-toey through here, guys. Really surprised at that Ferrari. She's looking very feisty, and not in the way I would expect. Oh wow, as they come up towards the S's, I thought GT Jamie was gonna get enough on him there to make a move, but he backed out of that, probably wise, as they come up to, what is it? Sorry, oh yeah, Leocop, that's right, I haven't said it in a couple of laps, have I? Right, these lot are having a great battle, and this is for 5th, 6th and 7th place. So we're not talking podium, but again, in these weather conditions, anything can happen. Yeah, anybody up front can have an issue. I mean, touch wood, they don't, but they could have an issue, couldn't they, Mike? Yes indeed. So you've got to keep going, you've got to keep being consistent, keep pumping in those lap times and make sure your vehicle stays on the track. So Floppy Fox still eked that out by another tenth. He's 1.5 ahead of Lely. Then Spazey's brought that down. That was 3.4 seconds a couple of laps ago, and it is now only 1.2. So I'm thinking Lely might be having some issues here. Crazies is still in fourth. He's obviously slowly catching up. Then we've got I Am Slow, GT Jamie and Renville, who we were just following a moment ago. Gamer Daddy's in at 8th, 8 seconds off the pace, although he does seem to have clawed that back. That was 11.5 when we did look at his rather pink wheels. Joseph Tro's in 9th, 3.7 off Gamer Dad. Then we've got Traction and Michael, the two McLaren boys. Now, I don't know what their problem has been. I've obviously had quite a big problem. Andy, in Crazy's teammate, he's in 11th, splitting those Lambos. Then we've got Fresh Jinx in the Merc Solo. Fresh Brizzle's just put it back in the pit, so I don't know if he's bringing that one to an end at this stage. And Marek is currently bringing up the rear, so I think this is going to be the next close one to have a look at. Lely's definitely got some problems, and Spacey is looking pretty racy in that Ferrari, and you can see just behind Spacey you've got Crazies in that McLaren. So if I was Lely right now with 10.5 minutes to go, I'd be a bit worried about being on the podium, if I'm honest, because he's not, look, I mean, Floppy's done a 52.6, then he's a 53 flat, and then the two boys behind are low 52s, so whatever's going on with Lely, it is not working for him at the moment. See, she's getting out of shape there a little bit. Yeah, I really don't know why that isn't playing back on there. Really don't know why that's not playing back on there. So, just under 10 minutes to go. This is going to develop, I think, over the next lap or so into a proper scrap, and I think Crazies is just hoping, given the weather conditions, that he can just slowly creep up onto the back of these two if they start fighting and squabbling, and can take advantage of any potential issues that come from their fight. Spacey's maybe getting a little bit impatient at the moment, or just again deploying all of his tactics just to keep trying to put Lely off. But Lely's a calm driver. Lely has raced with us for a long time. He's quick, he's calm, he's used to being at the front, so he knows what it's like to battle, he knows what it's like to chase people down or defend, so, and he certainly knows that car, so he knows her strengths and weaknesses and when to use those. Some great racing going on here, ladies and gents. Spacey, Crazies, GT Jamie's in 5th. I Am Slow is currently 6th place. Renville, great showing from him actually at the moment. He's in 7th. Gamer Dad's still 8th. Again, we looked at that a little while ago and it was 8.2. It's now down to 6.7. So Gamer Dad is moving, which is good. Joseph's still 9th. Andy is 10th. Then we've got Traction, Fresh Jinx, Michael, Marek and Fresh Brizzle. Now, we do know that at the end of this race, going into race 2, that the top 5 cannot qualify and have to start reverse at the back. So maybe, no, but it's not a full reverse, because I was going to say maybe Michael and Traction and Co are thinking, well, if we just kind of finish at the back, then we'll start up at the front in the second race. But it's not that way, is it? Because they still have to qualify. The top 5 aren't allowed to qualify. So I really want to know what's going on with that Lambo. Interesting. So I know we were talking about Spacey, and Spacey is putting pressure on Nelly, but I think there's someone else putting a lot of pressure on Spacey at the moment. I did say Crazies would be hoping he could just creep up onto the back of these two. So I think Spacey's had an issue somewhere. You can see Lenny's checked out up ahead, so he's managed to find himself some time. and obviously whatever's happened to Spacey has then allowed Crazies to close up. So from Spacey, you know, really pushing Lely for second place, which looked like that was going to turn into an actual fight, he's now fighting to keep Crazies away to even stay on the podium. That's how quick things can turn around. You see Marik's done a 53 flat there, and Floppy's done a 51.9. So he is without a doubt the quickest chap on the track at the moment. Quite rightly in first place. Ooh, Spacey took a little bit of curb there, and who we've got in front? So is Marik going to get in the way as we go through the sweep into barbecue? You've got to hope though Marik does the right thing and gets out of the way. You can see in the back there Crazies comes through as well. Excellent driving, Marik, well done mate. Don't want to be getting involved in any of these scraps, especially in this weather. So Spacey's now pulled a little bit of a gap onto Crazy, so he can kind of not think about him that much at the moment and can now start trying to hone back in on Lely. Lely will be aware by looking at his timing screens that his gap is coming down again, but we're under 6 minutes, so Lely's defensive driving has so far paying dividends, which I'm sure he's hoping will last until the end of the race. Keep an eye on them, check the other timings out. No real change there, as you can see Crazy getting really close as we go up through Leocop, down Minecraft up towards Crocodiles and then Cheetah. Yeah, so well, Michael's really close to Fresh Jinx at the moment, but don't think we can move off this one. It's too much at stake. You can see Lely's coming through there. That was a much wider line from Spacey, so he is pushing hard, but I don't know if that's going to be what he needs. Keep an eye on that mirror. See that McLaren. These boys are having a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Probably quite stressed as well, actually. But into Crowthorne then. See, we may actually have a situation develop here whereby, because their pace is all quite similar, that they just end up gapping and finish close, but not close enough for anything to actually materialise, because that's nearly 3/4 of a second. So GT Jamie is still in 5th place. How you getting on, mate, in your Ferrari? Good, well done. These two are still going for it. Renville is still in. Renville's in 6th now. Renville, you've had a great race, and well done to you so far. I am Slows in 7th. Probably not going to be hugely happy with that in the Bentley, but then he is using the controller, so he's still quicker than most people because he's in tier 1. Gamer Dad's holding 8th place, but look, he's now only 2.2 seconds behind. So originally it was 11.5 seconds. Got a move going. We have got a move happening. That would have put the heart in his mouth, no doubt. That was a first sort of a look at a challenge for the podium there. Crazies is going for it. Crazies has gone for it, and he's overcooked it. So Spacey gets back on the power. He's got the inside line. Crazy's going to have to back out through here, otherwise there's going to be tears, and he does. He's probably going to make another dive up the inside. He's lining it up. So he's pushing hard. Crazy is really trying to put Spacey off. He's got 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I bet he wished the flag was going to drop quicker than that, because that was quite an assault on him, which isn't going to go away. And Spacey's got to be careful now. He can't get distracted, which is, you know, actually positive for Lenny. Traction's off the track there. Be careful when you come back on, big guy, and he does. He keeps out of the way, as you can see in the background. So that was good. I think him and Michael might have just stayed out on slicks and hoped the weather came back to them, because they're both nowhere to be seen, are they? And remember, they qualified 2nd and 3rd, so that gamble doesn't look like it's paid off. into the braking zone of and contact, and so Crazies went into the back of Spacey there. I didn't think Spacey looked like he got on the brakes massively earlier than normal, but again, it only takes a second to miscalculate. They're going that quickly, they're covering that much ground, so that now does give Spacey a little bit more breathing space. We're under 2 minutes left of this race. Floppy Fox is way out up front at the moment. I actually want to see if Gamer Dad has actually caught up to the back of I Am Slow, and as I say that, he's gone past him. Now whether he made that move stick or the fact that he's now 6 seconds behind would suggest that I Am Slow has had an issue. So Gamer Dad elevated to 7th place. Joe's in 9th, and Andy Cray 911, or Andy Cray 911, Crazy's teammate near the McLaren, he brings up the top 10, which is a great effort from him, and I think Spacey's threw it off through Cheetah. Oh my word. What is going on with that? Unlucky Spacey. So he's threw it off. Oh, that hard work, and Crazy's, just by being consistent, just by pushing him, just by getting in those mirrors and getting in his head, has again, that's what I'm saying, it's that consistency, it's that smart driving, puts him up for another podium, number 574 probably within FRL. So Floppy Fox is currently leading this race. We don't have anything else really close, so let's do the guy justice and let's watch that Lexus as she does her last tour. Now if you throw it off, Floppy, I am sorry about that. It's not my curse, it's just you threw it off in the wet. Yeah, crazy. So final lap of this first part of round 1 at the Pure Sim Gear GT3 Sundays. He does go offline there, but he manages to keep that on, and look, that was a straight-ish part of the track, to be fair. As he goes through Leocop for the last time, the run down mine shaft and then across and up towards Crocodiles, wants to get this braking zone right, and he's putting it off the track again. He's got to be careful. I know he's got a 5-second lead, but you might struggle to get it back on if you start spinning up on the grass. So as he goes through Cheetah, he takes his time through there, as you should, and up towards Ingwe for the last time, and there we go. Nice and clean. Race 1 taken by Floppy Fox. Congratulations to you on your debut, certainly on the GT3 Sundays. A great victory there, well done. Lely brings it home in 2nd, Crazies brings it home in 3rd on the podium, and Spacey, he's going to be annoyed that he'd lost that podium, but was pushed really hard by Crazies. And then GT Jamie is currently in 5th as he comes through Cheetah. So that's some really good team points for those boys. Yeah, GT Jamie's going to get 5th. There we go. Well done, big man. And then Renville is coming through, and look who's all over the back of him. Gamer Dad. Gamer Dad's had a strong second part of that race, got to be said. Made up a lot of time in that Lexus. So Renville, in his debut in Tier 1, takes 6th place. Well done. You should be very proud of that. Gamer Dad comes home in 7th. And then I Am Slow's crossing the line. Okay, yeah, I Am Slow's in 8th. Joseph's going to be 9th. Andy, Crazy's teammate, he's going to bring it home for a top 10 finish in his first outing. In the wet, remember, you know, and has he driven the McLaren before? I have no idea. So that is a fantastic effort by him. Michael Races looks like he's going to bring it home in 11th. Let's just see Andy cross the line. All good, congratulations. Michael's going to bring it home in 11th. Obviously he's an absolute mare of a race. Was in 2nd place, only 4/10 odd behind Lely when he came in for his pit stop, and was in there for an absolute age he was. And then we've got Marek in 13th. So Fresh Jinx thought he was going to have Wooden Spoon. Not at all, my man. You've got 12th. Well done. Marek brings it home. He's 13th. Traction, teammate of Michael's in that Lambo, 14th. Fresh Brizzle, 15th. And obviously Wheelie Kevin is not on the grid. So there you go, folks. That was a pretty frantic race 1. Some great racing there, some drama in terms of pit stops. The weather really did a number on everybody. We had some people who were fighting for their lives in terms of Lely and Spacey, and then Crazies, and then we had others who were having a great drive coming through from the back. Gamer Dad, that one had pretty much everything. So they're all going to park up now, and we're going to move into the short qualifying session to determine the grid for the second race. Now remember, the top 5, so Floppy Fox, Lely, Crazy, Spacey and GT Jamie, they are not allowed to set a qualifying time in this 7-minute session. They can go out for tyre pressure purposes, but obviously they shouldn't be getting in the way of anybody else that's out there doing quick laps. So that's going to mix the pack up nicely, I would suggest. Just grab a quick drink of water. That was lovely. So guys, COMMS competition. I mean, I know there's no one really interested this evening by the look of it, but we did put a competition out earlier on today. No one's given me any answers yet, so we'll put it out again. Kyalami, the track was opened in 1961. What I'd like to know is, what does the word Kyalami mean, and in what language? So what language is the word Kyalami from, and what does it mean? Okay, pop an answer in the live chat. Winner will obviously get a free setup for any car, any track. Yeah, no issues with that at all. Oh, Dow says something, hold on.
Green light, go, go, go.
Congratulations, Dow. You are indeed correct. As we start the short qualifying session, yes, Kyalami does mean home, and it is part of the Zulu language. So, congratulations, Dow. Drop me a message. Free setup, any car, any track. Everyone else loves them. I'm sure you will as well. So well done, mate. See, it's worth watching. It's worth watching. Thought we waited until half time. No. So you've been sat there with the answer for the last, what, 40 minutes probably. But yeah, good. Well done. Right, as we get ourselves out on the track for qualifying, Gamer Dad, first one out the bag. Let's give him some time. So he obviously had a very good end to that first race. Not necessarily in terms of where he finished, but lap time wise, I mean, he was way down, and he made up what, 10-12 seconds in the end, and was right on the back of Renville on the last lap as well. So that should give him some confidence going into this race. Let's see how racy our Pink Warrior is. Alien Hunter, obviously you can't really change the liveries on the Lexus, so he's still kept true to his roots, and he's got pink wheels. Right, so short qualifying session for this one. It says 10 minutes. Okay, I thought it was going to be 7, but it says 10. That's fine. And we can crack on from there. Again, I just want to mention, whilst we're in qualifying, as Gamer Dad comes up to start his flying lap, if you missed the track guide earlier on, well, we might as well do another one now, really. So across the start finish line, through the kink, keep the car to the right hand side as we approach the first corner, which is Crowthorne. Look for the 100-metre board on the right hand side, hard on the brakes, down to first gear, turn the car in, get some trail braking on there. You can watch those inputs down the bottom right, squeeze the power on as we go through, I can't remember this corner, sorry guys, and then we come up to barbecue on the brakes, into second gear, turn her in, apex, onto the power, run it wide. That's really nicely done, Gamer Dad. And then we've got the run up towards Sunset, which is a sweeping right-hander where you've got to back off initially, drop it down a gear, maybe not in this one, but in some of the other cars, and then we do drop it down a gear, we squeeze on the power, cross to the right-hand side, on the brake, second gear, into Clubhouse Bend, squeeze on the power, keep it on the right as we come up to the S's. As soon as that curving starts on the right, we want to back off down a gear, not in the Lexus or the Bentley though, and then we should be on the power all the way through as we come up towards the difficult double left-hander of Leocop, down into first gear, get it tucked in, and it's like a double apex. We just keep that steering angle on, power goes on there as we cut back through down the straight of mine shaft under the bridge, keep it pinned left, do not come off the throttle towards crocodiles on the brakes down to first. We'll cut that back, gone in a little deep there, a little bit deep there, probably could have carried a bit more pace through, up towards Cheetah, which is where we just back off, we don't hit that sausage curb, and that's invalidated that lap on the way up to Ingwe, which is the last left-hander. So Gamer Dad could have had a good lap there. There's a couple of little things he needs to iron out, but I'm sure he will as we get back to it. So who else is coming across the line there? So Traction in his 77 Lambo sets a 42.3. Qualifying pole position from race 1 was a 42.036 by Lely, and Traction loses. Traction, hilarious. Right, so let's have a look at Fresh Jinx. Let's have a look at Jamie in his Merc. I like what he's doing with the livery, she looks cool. Let's see what the Merc's got to offer us. Yellow flags waving there. I think he went a little bit too deep in there, probably turned in a little bit too early, I think, there. Brake second, turn her in, power. Up towards Sunset, see if he drops it down early or late. Early, but that's got the back end. Wow, the back end's okay. She is a handful. She is a handful. So Traction's on pole. Michael, his teammate, is 60 thousandths behind him currently. Then we've got Marek in the Ferrari is 1.4 behind. Andy in his McLaren is currently sitting 4th, 2 seconds off the pace. Then Fresh Brizzle in the 998 Bentley. Fresh Jinx, who we've just seen having a torrid time in that Merc. She looks well, she looked pretty unstable, didn't she? Then we've got Gamer Dad, who hasn't set a time yet, just as now, goes 3rd, and I Am Slow in the 109 Bentley. Stay on board with him. So remember, Crazies, Lely, GT, Jamie, Spazies, and Floppy Fox cannot set a qualifying time. So that leaves I Am Slow, Renville, and Joseph Tro to pop a time in. Just under 4 minutes left of this qualifying session, so really important this one, guys. Remember, there will still be a mandatory pit stop in this second race, but what they have to do is think that they're going to have 5 people starting behind them who are pretty quick. Yeah, the top 5 from race 1. So what they're going to do, are they going to just dump it in the pits in the first lap and then have a long run through to the end whilst everyone's fighting, or is someone going to try and come through? What's the weather going to do? I mean, no one had a clue the weather was going to do that in the first race, so that's surely going to be on people's minds. As I Am Slow, so Renville set his time, he goes 8th. I Am Slow comes across the line. He must have been validated, so he's back out. So Michael's now taken provisional pole and is sat in the pits. Traction is a 10th and a half behind him. Is he up on this lap? No, he's about to start his quick one. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that as it develops. Andy's still in 3rd place. Great effort. Gamer does put it up to 4th now in his Lexus. Fresh Brizzle 6th. Marek is 5th. Fresh Jinx in that Merc's 4 seconds off the pace, which is huge. I have to say, that's huge. And Renville's 11 seconds off the pace. So those boys need to keep pushing. Gamer Dad's moved up another spot, so he's currently put himself up to provisional 3rd and goes into the pits. 2 minutes 24 left. Maybe he's going to make a quick change and come straight back out. He would have enough time to get another lap in. If he can get out within the next sort of 10 seconds, he could probably get an out lap done. So we'll keep an eye on that. P. Joseph. Right, Joseph is out on track. He's got an invalidated lap there, so Joseph, by the look of it, coming across start-finish line, he's got one shot at this, maybe two. So let's go on board. We haven't been on board with Joseph a lot so far this evening. Again, we've got a whole season, we've got to spend lots of time on board with all these gents. Yeah, Dal says if it rains again, the Lambo will be useless in the wet. Well, I think, Dal, you're correct there. I mean, she didn't look happy at all. I think that's an understatement in that first race. As Joseph is pretty much even Stevens on his last lap. Don't think he's enjoying that Lexus too much at the moment. I mean, for those of you that are quite new, Joseph was a real regular with us during the first GT3 Sunday season when I started doing the comms, and yeah, was really quick in the slammers. So he is a very fast driver, and he has driven multiple cars, so he does have the brain capacity to take on a new vehicle and get her dialed in. Just doesn't look like it's happening for him today, unfortunately. He's nearly a second down. That's not going to do him any favours. And Traction, wow, where did that come from? Traction Dave goes 6.5 tenths quicker than Michael. So these two are having a great inter-team battle at the moment. That is a rapid lap, a 41.5. He's really hooked that one up. I Am Slow's popped in a great time as well, so it didn't look like Gamer Dad bothered to come back out. And we've got 7 seconds left. Joseph might get one more lap in. He will get another lap in if he wants to. So we're in the wait time at the moment. So Michael's still out on track. He wants to try and take that pole position. He is up, but he's not 6 tenths up. As he comes... And he was committed through cheater there, but that didn't end very well for him, unfortunately. So he's not taking pole. Wow, look at that. So Andy's the next one. Andy's not going to take it either. So there's your race grid for race 2. Traction Dave, hats off to you, sir. I think that is your first pole position. Correct me if I'm wrong. So excellent work there. That lap was amazing. So Traction Dave starts on pole position for the Lambo. One fast, one furious. Again, I'll leave it up to you guys to decide who is who. Traction on pole. Michael lines up next to him in second place. I Am Slow. Great lap by you there, Peter, in the Bentley. You're in third with Gamer Dad in the Lexus. So we've got the two sort of powerful, more stable cars stalking those two Lambos on the second row. Andy's done a great job in that McLaren to put it fifth with Joseph. So Joseph did get a decent time in the end. He's put that on the third row in sixth place. Marek in seventh. Renville in eighth. Solid. Okay, good work. Fresh Brizzle is in ninth at the moment, and then Fresh Jinx is in 10th. And then we've got Crazies, Leddy, GT Jamie, Spacey and Floppy Fox. Obviously those last five did not set a qualifying time. They were not allowed because they finished in the top 5 in the first race. They have to start from the back of the grid in reverse order, so mix things up nicely. So Dow's being a bit of a hussy at the moment, is the only way I can describe it. Apparently he's got me on one screen watching this stream, and he's got Darren, who's one of our other great guys at FRL. He's doing tier 2 this evening on the FRL YouTube channel, so he's watching both. So that's brilliant, Dell. Ultimate support. Wouldn't expect anything else from you, mate. So yeah, just a quick reminder for everybody. We did a massive 12-hour charity race yesterday for Mind on the PC. Please check that out on the Formula Racing the YouTube channel. You can still donate. You know, you got to think about the work that goes into that. Not only all the FRL drivers that were in the teams, you got the people that were doing all the commentary, and then you got people that we wouldn't even know were doing anything unless you're in FRL, like Dal, who sat there for 12 hours doing live stewarding. Couldn't do that, not for 12 hours. What a hero. So we're doing that, and we've got another charity race coming up next Sunday, which is for the Red Cross, obviously, with regards to what's going on in the world. We're going to run a 2-hour race on PC, PS4 and PS5. We're going to run it across all 3 platforms at the same time, and obviously we're just looking to raise funds for the Red Cross to help those people that are in a pretty bad place right now. And now is that it is? Oh my god! Look at this, amazing! Those 2 Lambos are thinking, yes, we've smashed it again. The race, it's going to rain again, but it's only damp. I think you're going to see a lot of people dump it straight in the pits on lap 1, because the weather's saying for the next 10 minutes it's going to rain, then it's going to rain harder, and then in half an hour it's going to rain even more. So they're going to dump it in and go wet straight away, but it is only damp. Yeah, so it might be light rain to start with. If it is only light rain for the first sort of 5 to 10 minutes, they'll probably get away with slicks. If they come in and jump onto wets, they're going to burn them up straight away. So, Dal, what do you think, Dale? Dale says it's great to be God. I know it is. I know, mate. No, I've got all of these racers' careers in my hand right now, Dale. And all their friends and family watching. So, 1 minute 45 to go. I'd love to know what's going on in their heads right now. I bet they are all like, are you serious? Another wet race? Look, how wet is that going to be? This is fabulous. Yeah, so here we go. We're getting ready for race 2 this evening. Who knows what is actually going on with the stream at the moment, or if no one's watching today. Maybe people are busy. Who knows? And I was also going to say a big thank you actually to everyone that has supported the channel so far. We did manage to tick over to 100 subscribers the other day, which is out of this world. I never thought that would happen by me trying to talk to you guys about other people racing. So a huge thank you to everyone that has done that. And does look like I've lost one tonight though. So I hope I haven't offended anybody. I don't think I have. But yeah.
20 seconds.
20 seconds to go. Race 2. Let's see what happens. Those Lambos, I mean, they really did struggle in race 1, didn't they? And I'm sure Michael and Dave, if they were in those cars, they'd be looking over at each other now thinking, good luck. So as they get underway on their formation lap for this second race of the evening. We'll get things moving. So half an hour separates these guys from fully completing round 1 of this GT3 Sunday season within Formula Racing League. Really, really popular. Always been a mainstay. It's always been one of the top events that people have got involved in. Which is why we get lots of people join in, and we also get lots of people that just stay because it's great racing. So we're actually on board with Andy, so we're going to be able to see the top few going into those first couple of corners. I'm interested to see how those boys at the back come through and what they do with that strategy. So we're on board of Andy, and it says wet. It says, you can see there on the tyre thing. So it looks like Andy's starting on wet tyres. Again, not sure if the track is still greasy or damp, or if the track has gone full wet. We won't be able to see that until the race gets underway. So apparently Dale was saying tier 1 is all raincoats and tier 2 is all what's he saying? Bikinis and, well, bikinis and ice creams is what he's saying. So, whoever set these up has definitely done it to challenge, which is what we want. So they all begin to form up 2 by 2 as they come round to finish the formation lap. You've got to think, if they've got wets on as well, there's no way you're going to get any heat in those tyres in these weather conditions. So the first few turns of this lap are going to be crucial, and I just hope, you know, I said before, these guys are going to be trying to potentially fight at the front. They know that this is a really big opportunity for them, because the 5 quickest guys from the last race are at the back trying to come through. So let's hope they're not too aggressive in how they get on board. So here we go, start finish line, and we're off already. Let's get up the front. So Traction, Michael, and I Am Slow are going for it into turn 1 as they all concertina up. There was contact there. It looked like the two, it really looked like those two Nissans, Gamer Dad and Joe, were coming together. As you can see, Michael struggling to hold on to her. He's got I Am Slow's got to make a move. He thought better of it. Oh, so close to touching. That's made him back out, which is then he's flashing away. So I don't know if he wasn't happy with that, but I didn't see Michael doing anything wrong other than defend his line. Those two Lambos try and scamper away. I Am Slow's coming through, and he's got Gamer Dad and Joseph all over the back of him. So this is a great start to this race. Nice and close. That's Gamer Dad. Gamer Dad's got all out of shape there, coming through Clubhouse, through the S's. So the Lambos, they're okay at the moment, just taking their time. Traction's up front. Remember, no, I'm not saying nothing about Traction. I'm not going to say nothing. Okay, so Traction, I Am Slow, obviously keeping Michael more than honest there. Gamer Dad. Whoa, 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 whoa. Who is that? Fresh Jinx. Good move, dude. So Joseph, so Gamer Dad obviously got a wobble, and we saw that. Fresh Jinx goes off the track. Oh no, Fresh. No, no, no. Oh, so we've got, who's gone off there? Was that Michael? So Michael's gone off. Traction's carried on. Michael's had an off there, and then we just saw that coming together of Fresh Jinx in the Merc. We saw him go wide onto the grass. That obviously meant he was probably had his stamping on the brakes, couldn't get that car stopped in time, and that's caused all sorts of issues. Look, you've got Joe there. Joe's fighting with him. Who's that trying to get in the pits? It's Floppy Fox is fighting with Gamer Dad as well. No, that's Renville. So those two teammates are fighting with each other. Spacey's still out on track, and Joseph, Crazies and Jamie have all elected to pit. So Traction is out up front at the moment. Fair play to him. I Am Slow in the Bentley's in second place. Michael, who had that off, finds himself in third with Gamer Dad chasing him down. And then you've got Renville. Look how good Renville's doing at the moment. He's up in fifth with his team. Well, no, there's a change there. So Floppy Fox is in fifth. Renville is in sixth. And then we've got Spacey and the Ferrari in seventh. And Lely's trying to come back through the field now. So he's got through. Fresh Brizzle, Marek, Jinx, and then you've got Crazies is coming out the pits, and GT Jamie. So Crazies, again, he's elected to do his strategy. He knows it's going to stay wet, so he's got his pit stop out the way. He's got to come out into clear air, he would hope. So we shall see. Let's go on board with Traction. Currently leading this race. He's got about a 6th, 10th lead over I Am Slow. Driving very well. Remember, he put it on pole 4 minutes nearly into this race. There's been quite a lot happening at the beginning, but he's holding I Am Slow off as we come through Cheetah. Just got to get these lines right. Got to look after the car. Obviously that Bentley's a bit of a beast when it comes to munching curves, and obviously the weight of that car helps her in situations like this. And we know the Lambo, she's very twitchy, she's light, so she's got to be a handful. It's going to take a lot of concentration from Traction. He's doing a fantastic job at the moment. Michael's still third. Gamer Dad's a second and a bit behind him, and then Floppy Fox again. Look how far he's come through the field already, and Gamer Dad's gone wide. So Floppy thinks, okay, Not the right time for a move there, but he knows he's got Gamerdad on the ropes. At the moment, Gamerdad's going to be looking in those mirrors. And Floppy, he had that Lexus really dialed in the first race, and he's come through from last, remember, reverse of the top 5. So he started last, and he's got himself up to 5th already, and then Spacey's got himself up to 6th. So I know we've had a couple of pit stops, but that doesn't take away the pace that these guys are showing in the first 5 minutes of this second race of this first round of the championship. Nice and close. So I Am Slow's now. I Am Slow's making a move on traction. Look how close these guys are, going through lift top, down mine shaft. They touch. Oh dear. Oh dear, boys. Oh dear, as Michael goes through. Oh, and you got to think it's wet there. That could have been carnage. So I Am Slow and Traction come together. I mean, they were so close. You could see they were close as they were coming down mineshaft. That's really unlucky. So we got on board with Michael. Michael now inherits the lead of this race after having his own issue in the first lap or two. He's out up top. Gamerdad, and there's Traction. So Traction's off track again, so he's struggling at the moment. Did he just hit Gamerdad? No, I don't think so. So Spacey finds himself up in 2nd place, Michael out in front, Lely now up to 3rd, Renville's in 4th, and Fresh Brizzle 5th. Floppy Fox, Jinx. Okay, so I Am Slow, I expect to pit. There's Gamerdad. Marek, I Am Slow does pit. And Andy's pitted, Crazy's teammate, he's pitted in 12th place as well. He's going to get his stop done. And Traction is going to be kicking himself. Really kicking himself. Traction, you know, you can see he's a quick driver. He's up in the top 2 for qualifying today. Both sessions, leading that race. And he does regularly threaten to have a great result all the time. But just not to be. Not to be at the moment. He will get there. You know why, Traction? You need to buy me a coffee and everything will be good. That's what I think you need to do. Sorry, there's just a message on here about the PS5 server, but I don't need to look at that right now. So yeah, Traction, the way for you to get quicker, mate, is to go on to buymeacoffee.com/comms by Coobs and buy me a coffee. I'll give you instant extra powers, my friend. So Michael up top, and we're watching him there. He's got himself a nearly 5-second lead now over Spacey in 2nd place. Lely wants a piece of that action. He's 1.6 behind him. So again, I would hazard a guess that the Bentley, maybe wrong, but I think the Bentley's going to handle better and probably eat up that track in a more compliant way than what that Ferrari is. But we'll see on the timings. We'll keep an eye on that. As you can see, Spacey's made an indent into Michael's time there. Floppy Fox can't help but be impressed with this guy today as he comes up behind Fresh Brizzle. Now remember, Fresh has already, before we even started free practice for this event this evening, has already just done a 2-hour race. So he's done that race plus qualifying and free practice for that race, and then he's come over and jumped in on this. So he's on a bit of a mammoth stint at the moment. So considering that and the amount of brain cells he's probably already used up today, he's doing extremely well to be in 5th place. But he's got a mighty quick driver behind him. So Fresh is nowhere to be seen behind Fresh Jinx. So this is the battle then, and in front of them we've got Renville, so 4th, 5th and 6th all together. Floppy Fox knows if he gets an opportunity he can put himself in the mix. Unless we go for an early pit stop, try and get out of this battle, which might not be a bad idea. In 3 minutes time the rain is going to get worse according to the weather chart, so Michael's still winning. Spacey's cut that down now to 3.6, so that's another 7 tenths. and he has pulled away from Lenny, so my prediction was wrong. And that's fair enough. That's what I love doing this. You can't always be right. So he's pulling on Lenny and he's cutting that gap to Michael. So that Ferrari is obviously working very well. And what's going on there? Floppy Fox does do what I thought he was going to do. He fainted and he's nearly spun it in the pit lane. It's not going to help his time, but he has ducked it in the pits to get out of that fight. A fresh Jinx you can see in the Merc. He's coming across the line now. Keep going, mate. Doing a great job. Gamer Dad 7th place, and then Crazy's first person who's actually completed the pit stop. And where is he at the moment? Coming up to Crocodiles there. Okay, up to Cheetah. So Floppy Fox and Crazy's. Let's just keep an eye on these guys. So Crazy's is coming up to Igwe, and Floppy hasn't moved yet. So Crazy's, I would suggest, has just jumped probably up to 5th at least. Spazy's cut that gap down to 2.7 now, so that Lambo, she doesn't look too happy. Again, you know, we were saying at the beginning of this session this evening, you know, the different types of cars we've got available, you know, the Bentleys, the Lexus, the Mercs are all sort of bigger, heavier. You would think more stable, more compliant cars in these conditions, and then you got the Lambos and the Ferraris and the McLarens, so you would think would be really, really struggling. But Spazy's looked very good all night in that Ferrari, I have to say. It looks like Michael's got his head back on him so far, but Spazy's definitely catching him quite a lot. I want to see what the split is now. I bet that's probably about 2.1 seconds. 2.2. Okay, not far off. So Lenny's currently running 3rd, Brizzle 4th, with Renville trying to put some pressure on him. Fresh Jinx dumps it in the pits, and then Gamer Dad, he continues on in his Lexus with rather bright wheels. And then we've got Crazy's, Jamie, Andy, Floppy Fox, Joseph, Marek and I Am Slow have all pitted. Traction is in the pits at the moment. Is he going to come out of the pits? That's what I want to know. Let's just keep an eye on that for 1 sec. No, Dale, no. Sundays was normally really, really good, actually. Dale, for viewers, normally really good. So I don't actually know what's happened tonight. I'm totally honest with you. I've normally got between 12 and 15 watching. So anyway, things happen. Who knows? But yeah, so we're still damp. It doesn't look like Traction's coming back out, so I think he's left that one. Okay, so Michael's still out up top. He's only got just under 2 seconds now back to Spacey. So these guys, Spacey's definitely quicker at the moment. Lenny's 3.2 behind, so he's not going to trouble these two. Lenny's just running his own race at the moment. Then we've got Renville, Fresh Brazil at the moment. So he's 7.5 seconds down, and Renville is a second behind him. So can't really afford to make a mistake as he comes into Crocodiles, because Renville is having a really good second race. So we're waiting for that rain to come down again. Oh, and there's a mistake. Not a huge one, but that will allow Renville to close up by a couple more seconds. Tenths, I should say, not seconds. 1.5 seconds up top now. GT Jamie's only a second behind Jinx, so he's doing alright in his Ferrari this evening as well. I must say that Merc has looked mighty unhappy, and Floppy Fox looks like he's about to pounce on Andy in his little McLaren. Yeah, she just looks good. She looks a lot better. Let's hope we don't get contact. So again, in this position as a driver, it's actually very difficult, especially in these conditions, because not only are you concentrating on your driving and making sure you're trying to find and create an opportunity to to get yourself up the grid a bit more, but you've got to be second guessing the guy in front all the time. You know, braking. Nice move, nicely telegraphed, nicely put up the inside. Move is done. Well done, Floppy Fox. So he moves himself into the top 10. Remember, he has pitted. He does have a few guys in front of him. GT Jamie's only 7/10 down the road, so I would fancy him to catch him up, but then we've got some big gaps ahead of those boys and girls. 1.6 seconds at the top now between Michael and Spacey. So that's still continuing to come down. And then Joe's in 13th, obviously got involved in that incident earlier on. Marek's in 13th. You know what, Marek? Fair play, mate. That car's obviously been a handful, and you haven't enjoyed that car in either race, I would suggest, but you're still going, and that's what we need. Just keep going. Halfway through, I Am So looks like he's binned it off as a traction. Those two probably aren't best mates, really, and Lenny's in the pits, as is Spacey. Michael stayed out. We watched this happen in the last race. It didn't quite work out, so let's see what happens this time round. Well, Dell, that would maybe explain something, but yeah, it's still a bit odd. Still a bit odd, mate. We normally do get a lot of people watching on the Sundays, and it's not like it's not being posted out everywhere. But who knows, mate? Who knows? Maybe there's a lot of people just got a lot of things on. So anyway, let's get back to that. Whilst me and Dal try and figure out why no one's watching either of the streams really tonight, which is quite sad. So Michael's still out of top. Fresh Brizzle. So Lenny's come out ahead of Crazies after the pit stop. That was to be expected. But Spacey is behind. According to this, he is behind. No, yeah, he is. Wow. Okay. So these boys have got some work to do now. Again, it shows Crazy. Remember, Crazy came in and did that early pit stop. So Crazies is actually leading from everyone that has pitted at the moment. Fresh Jinx, Jamie, Floppy Fox is now... Okay, so those boys are only half a second apart. And Marek is now only 3/10 behind Joseph. Come on, that's what? Oh, we've got two spinners there. That might have been Andy and Fresh Jinx. We'll check that in a minute, but let's give Marek a bit of time. Marek's trying to make a play for a top 10 finish, which would be fantastic considering the issues that he's had in that Ferrari this evening. But yeah, we did just see the McLaren. I think it was a Merc that would turn around then. As we come up to Leo Cop. Yeah, sorry, Dad. My brain's just like gone a little bit, just trying to think about what's going on with both the streams. I thought maybe the FRL one would be busier with them both coming on at the same time, but these boys normally like to watch what's going on, and maybe all the PS5 guys aren't. Maybe they're the ones that mainly get involved in it. I don't know. As Joe goes pretty wide there as we're coming into Ingwe. So Marek, you've got an opportunity, dude. You've got 12 minutes left to try and get a move done on that Lexus. 12 minutes to go. Michael's still up top, hasn't pitted yet. Fresh Brizzle's currently in second place. That's Gamer Dad coming out the pits on the left hand side with those beautiful pink wheels you can see there. Crazies is in third place, so he slots in. That's good. That's going to give Joe a bit of breathing space there. So Marek's now got two Lexuses to deal with, and they are teammates. So Triple X Motorsport getting in the way. Lenny's in fourth place, 3.2 seconds behind Crazies. Then we've got Spacey, who's in fifth for the 12.5 seconds down the road, as we see Marek desperately wants to get past Gamer Dad so we can have a pop at Joseph. Oh, Joseph's gone off, so that doesn't need to happen. So Joe's having a terrible night in that Lexus at the moment. Poor chap. So Tarek, not Tarek, he's not with us. Marek is still in 11th. He could have had 10th. but it says he's still 11th. I'm sure those timing screens will change as Fresh Brizzle comes in from second place to do his pit stop. Michael stayed out. Michael's going brave in this race. I think he's just decided, whilst I'm in the groove, I'm just got to keep on going. Crazies finds himself on the podium currently. That's got to probably elevate to second. We'll see where Fresh comes out. He's just getting going now. I suppose he'll be happy if he could be sort of fifth. So he's on his way out. And Spacey is only just coming around anyway. So, Fresh Brizzle, excellent driving from you, my friend. That's a great first stint you've put in. Great pit stop. You've come out in fourth place. So that's a great drive from you so far. You've got a 10-second gap on Spacey. Floppy Fox has fought his way back up to 6th place at the moment. He's 5.6 seconds behind. GT Jamie's fought his way up to 7th. Then Renville's in 8th. Gamer Dad 9th. Marek 10th. So that's the closest battle we've got on track at the moment. Joe and the other sister Lexus is currently 11th. We saw him just have an off, which was unfortunate. And then Andy, Crazy's teammate in the McLaren, is 12th. Fresh Jinx in the pits. I Am Slow's obviously been that off, as has Traction. And you remember at the start of this race, Traction and I Am Slow were out up top, having a great race. And then they got a little bit close, and there was a little love tap. It wasn't a massive contact, but you've got to remember we've got a wet track. They're going at speed, and that was enough really just to send them both pirouetting. And they've both decided to come out of the race. And who was that Ferrari? Was that Spacey or was that Jamie? It was Jamie. So GT Jamie's had an issue there, as Michael continues putting those laps down, continues trying to eke out that gap under 9 minutes, and he's got himself a 50-second lead at the moment over, well, that's Fresh Jinx. So where is he at? Probably 18 seconds or something like that. That's a good point, Dan. It could be because the everyone tag has been removed. Could be indeed, because I've never seen that before. This is the first time this has happened, to be honest. In what, 5 months? 4 or 5 months of doing the streams 2-3 times a week. It's the first time this has ever happened. Is Michael going to pit on this lap? Give himself enough time to have a few laps on Fresh Robert. Crazies is in second place. I think Michael's going to pit this lap. No, he's going long. Okay. So where's Crazies? So Michael is right. Okay, so he does have a big gap over Crazies. Got to be pitting at the end of this lap then. So what's that got to be about? That will be about 6 minutes 10 left in the pits. Out 2 out laps. I'd be pitting at the end of this lap just to make sure. So Crazy's fantastic job again. He made the difference on his pit stop, pitted early, and has just been ultra consistent, which is what I said at the top of the show. Lely's doing another great job. He's in 3rd place. Fresh Brizzle, can't knock him. He's had a great race so far on this one. Good pit stop. Ended up coming out in net 4th place. Excuse me. Spacey's in 5th. He's brought that gap right down though. It was a 10-11 second gap between Fresh and Spacey. It's now only 4.2. And then we've got Floppy Fox in 8th. Gamer Dad in 9th, and him and Marek are having a great little scrap, aren't they? So, you know what we need to do, people? We need to get on board and start having a look at this. Now these two have been within sort of 4 or 5 tenths of each other for a few laps, so obviously very similarly paced as they come up to Ingwe. I'm not going to get a move done there, so that gap has increased slightly. And GT Jamie's behind these two in 9th place. So just over 6 minutes left of the second race of this evening. We're currently watching a battle for 7th place between Gamer Dad in the Lexus and Marek Mariola in the Ferrari. Now, Marek's not had a great evening, actually, to be honest with you. That Ferrari has not been too kind to him, but in this race he's just found a good rhythm. So he's managed to keep some half-decent pace. We'll keep an eye on this fight as we have a look elsewhere. So Michael's still out. Crazies is still second, Lely third, Brizzle fourth, Spacey, okay, he's closed that down a little bit, and Floppy Fox, that hasn't really closed too much since we were last with them. We're then watching this fight between Gamer Dad and Marek, which is fantastic, and then we got GT Jamie who's lurking behind them in the other Ferrari. Joe's had a nightmare, he's been off twice I think in this race, and unfortunately, and then we've got Renville who's just got in for his pit stop, debuting in Tier 1. But well done, you've been doing really well. Andy in his first race with us in the McLaren, he's had a good session this evening. And then Fresh Jinx, unfortunately, in the Merc had a bit of a coming together, a pretty big one, with Gamer Dad or Joseph. So he's sitting this one out in the pits. And then the story of this race really at the start, Traction Dave and I Am Slow were out 1 and 2. Michael had put the car off the track. And was in third place, as we see Marek comes in for his pit stop and Michael is still running long. Yeah, these two, I Am Slow and Traction was in first, I Am Slow second, and they were trading, they were doing some great racing, and then they got a little bit too close, tiny little love tap, but again, as I said earlier, at speed in these conditions, pirouette galore, and both of them are probably sending each other love letters at the moment, and the tickets and stuff in the Discord probably. So 4 minutes to go. I'm sure Michael probably wants to finish this this race in the pit lane by the look of it, so I'd suggest he has to pit at the end of this lap, but he's done a fantastic job of keeping that Lamborghini in check. She was not very kind to him in the first race. As we saw, finished way down the grid. I think it was outside of the top 10 actually in the first race, so he's going to want to make sure that he looks after her and brings her home in a position more befitting of the king of FRL. Traction says, don't know what I'm talking about. Well, you tell me, Traction. Lovely to see you, by the way, mate. And if you didn't catch what I said earlier on, I said about you being due a good result. What you're missing, yeah, you need to buy me a coffee. Yeah, talk to Michael about it. He'll tell you what to do. And Dal, you know, it's really simple. Buymeacoffee.com/comms by Coops, and that'll make you instantly quicker. Instantly, give you full beans. Come on, I mean that comedy in itself is worth coffee. As Michael's carrying on. So yeah, tell me what happened with you and I Am Slow. It looked like a tiny little love tap, but with conditions made it worse. But tell me your side. Well, at least Dal's got someone to keep him entertained now in the chat. Is he going to pit? Come on, Michael. Yes, Michael pits. Hooray! Well done, you. So Michael finally comes in for his pit stop with probably a lap to go when he gets back out. So where is Crazies? And Michael's going to be gutted if he loses the lead of this race after keeping it out there for 14 laps in these conditions. So we're going to keep an eye, as we always do, see how that develops. Nothing else massively close on track at the moment, so we can spend some time on this one. Still in there. Right, so Crazies is coming up towards Crocodile by the look of it. Yeah, he's into Crocodile. Michael, you need to get moving as he goes through, coming up towards Cheetah now. Michael had a really long pit stop in the last race, and he's coming up to Ingwe as Michael gets going, so that should be good enough. Traction's going to come out the pits and block Crazies. Joking. It's the final lap, so we've now got some people watching on the final lap. Brilliant, guys, glad you're all with me. So Michael keeps that lead. Crazy's second place. Lenny's currently on the podium in third. Fresh Brizzle's holding on to that fourth place, so that's a great drive from him at the moment. Spacey in that Ferrari is still in fifth. and Floppy Fox in 6th place. So those boys, the guys that did the reverse grid after the first race, the top 5, have fought their way through nicely, as to be expected. But can't say that these guys have not been severely challenged this evening with the weather conditions. And look, Crazies is only 2.7 seconds behind Michael. Michael's come out of the pits. He's going to have really cold tyres. We know that Lambo is not pleasant to drive in these conditions. This could still go a different way. It really could. I'm going to get on board with Crazies so we can see him chasing Michael down through the end of this race. Oh, and Crazies misses his braking point and hands it on a plate to Mr. Races. Michael's just got to keep it together now. Doesn't have to worry about his mirror because Crazies made that mistake. Nice and easy through there, Mike. Don't go killing yourself through cheetah. Balances that throttle nicely. One turn to go. Igwe, left-hander, down into first. Turn her in. Take your time. No rush. And there we go. Race 2 of round 1 at Kyalami. Michael Races is your winner this evening for the second race, and he will be mightily relieved with that. And I actually think congratulations Crazies for finishing second, and congratulations Lenny for finishing third. I think Crazies will be kicking himself there because I secretly fancy he could have had Michael on that last lap if he didn't throw that away. Fresh Brizzle, great drive from you, my friend, in 4th place. Well done, buddy. That really was some excellent driving. Spacey, again, well done to you as well, mate, in 5th. Floppy Fox, what a debut for you with a slot. I mean, a win in the first race, really good drive in the second race, some excellent points there. So ERT Milden was correct. You were one to watch. Gamer Dad, a very respectable 7th place with not so respectable wheels. GT Jamie 141 brings it home in 8th. Well done to you in the Ferrari. Joseph is going to bring it home in 9th, in the Lexus. He's had an eventful evening, let's put it that way. I think Marriot's going to be extremely happy with 10th place in that Ferrari, considering the issues she's been giving him tonight. Andy in his first session with us finished in 11th but has left the server, but congratulations to you. Renville 11th. Fresh Jinx hasn't had the best night in the Merc, said he was going to be Wooden Spoon, but you're not Wooden Spoon, mate, because Traction and I Am Slow, well, they stayed behind, didn't they, because of their little love issue. And there you go, folks. That is round 1 at Kyalami of the Pure Sim Gear GT3 Sundays series complete. And that was pretty hectic. I mean, we had some brilliant qualifying in there, didn't we? We had some really close racing. The weather's been an absolute... Wow, that's really changed things up in here. And that one's done. So next week, these guys are all going to be, thinking about... Well, that weather was crazy. We won't get that again for a while. But next week we're at Spa. And we know what the weather's like at Spa. So it could be equally... equally as jumbled up, really. So, there we go. That finishes for tonight. Thank you to everybody that's watched. Congratulations to the podium, to Michael, Crazies and Lely. Great second race from you guys. Congrats to the podium on the first race and the top 5 in general. Thank you to everybody that has watched and taken part on the stream. All one of you. Del. No, I'm joking. Yeah, pleasure to present this on you. Remember, we've got the donations page up from the charity 12-hour charity race yesterday. We're doing another charity race next Sunday before GT3 Sunday, so a bit earlier in the evening for Red Cross, and obviously what's going on in the world. So please join us for that. Donate. Anything helps, and I mean anything at all. And same on this side, you want to donate to the coffee thing, which goes towards helping F around the servers, please do. Please don't forget to like, if anyone comes across and watches this one, it's a big help. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Tuesday for the PS5 Taco Tuesdays. I'm sure they won't have sorted the bugs out yet, so it will mainly be in car, but that didn't go too badly last week. Then we've got the FRL cast on Wednesday, so busy as always here, but yeah, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. COMMS by COOPS out.